Hey, it's Jesse Morrison here again. There's over 11,000 active real estate agents here in San Diego County alone. Okay, the barrier to entry for our industry is super low. And to put that into perspective, it takes 400 hours of coursework before you can take your exam to become a licensed manicurist, right? To do people's nails. And it takes 720 hours of coursework plus 8,000 hours of on-the-job training to get your license as an electrician. And this is a good thing, right? You want to make sure that the person working on your electrical issues knows what they're doing, right? But now in California, it only takes 135 hours to advise somebody on one of the biggest financial decisions that will impact their family's lives for years to come. 135 hours to become a licensed real estate agent in the state of California, compared to 400 hours to do nails and over 4 years to become an electrician. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the real estate industry is full of agents who don't necessarily know what they're doing. So I remember my first job, as a kid. I was in high school. I was a car salesman for Infiniti, GMC, and Buick, and I think Chevy may have been in the lineup as well. Well, anyway, the point is, my introduction to sales was this, right? On the weekends, the dealership would host these big events to drive a lot of people in so that they could sell a lot of cars, right? Well, I remember going into one of these sales meetings before one of these big weekends, and I don't know, there was maybe 25 to 30 different salespeople in this meeting, and my boss stands up in front of everyone, and he holds up this newspaper, and he says, "Hey, this article right here that we've been running all week is the promotion that people are going to be coming in for, and these are the kinds of cars that they're going to want. Well, we don't have any of these cars, so what I'm going to need you to do is as people come in because of the ad, just point them to something different and sell them one of the cars in the back, because guys, we don't have any of these cars." And that was my introduction to sales. It was founded on lies, and I just couldn't do it. I ended up walking off the lot and never coming back. Okay, so fast forward, 5 or 6 years or so, something like that, after I graduate college, I get into real estate. And I remember as a new agent, I was working with one of the bigger companies here in San Diego. I was going through all these classes, how to serve my clients and how to read and write contracts. And I remember that what they were training us to do was how to manipulate statistics and how to make ourselves look better than what we really are, so that people would sign the listing agreement or the buyer representation agreement, because ultimately that is how the brokerage made their money. And it took me back to those car sales meetings, right? I was being promoted, well, from the top down. We were being taught to lie or use sneaky sales tactics in order to secure business. So what do we have now, right? We have a barrier to entry that's super low, that anybody can get in, and you're being trained as a new agent to lie to secure business. One of the first brokers I hung my license with here in San Diego was a very smart and very successful guy. He was top of his class at UC Berkeley and had developed several successful businesses. And when I say successful, I mean that he made a lot of money and his businesses had grown pretty large. But what I noticed about him was that he was very driven by greed. Okay, he let the size of his commission checks dictate what kind of products that he put his clients into, rather than putting his clients' best interest first. And that ultimately landed him in jail. So unfortunately, this real estate industry is not just full of people who don't necessarily know what they're doing and are being taught to lie, but greed is also a huge problem. So as a Christian, we're called to 2 things, right? To love God with all of our heart, mind, and soul, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. And both of these callings, center around this word called love, right? And the Bible defines what love is. Love is patient and kind. It's truthful. It's not self-seeking or proud. Love protects, it trusts, it hopes, it perseveres. Guys, love is not a feeling that you have. It's a choice that you make, resulting in an action that you do, okay? And then God equips each one of us with unique gifts, talents, and experiences to fulfill on this calling. So for me personally, I have a degree in mathematics, right? I didn't get that degree because I had, something specific in mind for using it. Honestly, I just happen to be good at numbers and I'm good at problem solving. And real estate has, allowed me the opportunity to use those skills and talents to do proper data analysis in order to understand how to create equity and best use market trends for the benefit of my clients when maximizing profits in the bottom line. And before I became a real estate agent, I was a mortgage loan officer. Right? This experience allowed me to see exactly what mortgage lenders do to price out loans. These are the things that determine the rate and the amount of fees that are given to the borrower. Things like your FICO score, your job title, the amount of debt that you have. All these different factors, they come in and they get priced out differently based on that particular situation. Is it a house or is it a condo? All this stuff, it matters. And I learned that in that industry, not all lenders are the same. They're not all equal. Different lenders, whether they're a broker, a direct lender, or some kind of credit union with portfolio loans, have different pricing metrics, based on different loan products, which can also change from season to season. Right? This has allowed me to advise my clients on the home buying side of things, how to save money, where to go and why. This is probably one of the most fundamental and easiest ways to save a ton of money when you go to buy your house, right? Is to have the right mortgage lender. It's also been helpful on the selling side of things, when choosing the right buyer to move forward with, or finding solutions to potential buyers who could potentially offer more money to my seller clients with the right financing options. Another experience along the way in my journey was flipping homes. I made a lot of money as a home flipper, but I also watched it all disappear during the crash of 2008, right? The market crash was outside of my control, but what I was in control of was how to create instant equity. How to see things not as they are, but what they could be. And that's the trick to real estate, right? To take something to its highest and best use. And you're gonna hear people say, real estate's all about location, 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 right? And though that's an important factor, the reality is the most impactful key to creating profit in real estate is taking something to its highest and best use. So when advising my home sellers, it's really easy now to look at a house and be able to advise, on what are the best things that we can do to create extra value so that we can maximize your bottom line when it comes time to sell. We literally create equity so that you can make more money when you sell. And on the buy side of things, it's been really beneficial too, because it opens up the parameters where we can go into properties that are being overlooked by most buyers, and we can turn them into that perfect home that is the right fit for my clients. In addition to flipping homes, on the investment side of things, I've been the landlord and currently own rental property. So I've had great tenants and very costly ones, and have been able to determine the foundation of what leads to one over the other. It just adds one more layer of complexity of home ownership to analyze, right? When concluding whether it's the best time to sell your house, or should you hold on to it as a rental property, or if you're looking to buy a house, should you buy this one or should you buy that one, because this particular house may have a really good exit strategy as a potential rental in the future. How do you maximize rent? All these kinds of questions, they may not be on the top of your mind right now, but it's something to consider when making that big decision. On a personal level, I've been married since 2006. I have 3 awesome kids, and as a family man, I've had the privilege of buying and selling our own homes as well, right? I'll tell you, making that home purchase or sale as a family person rather than as an investor is it's completely different, right? It's emotionally driven, and there's a lot of thought process that goes into bringing security for your family that's completely outside of numbers. So when advising my clients on the decision to buy or sell their home, I can do so as if it's my own family making the decision. These are some of the unique gifts and talents and experiences that God has equipped me with to be a light to this industry that's full of people that don't really know what they're doing and are heavily influenced by deception and greed. And it's provided the foundation to serve with excellence and help hundreds of individuals and families when buying and selling their homes here in San Diego. So it's my privilege to be able to use this to make a positive impact on your family and your finances so that you can move forward with confidence when the timing is right for you. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to helping you soon.